Hello and welcome to issue 57 of We Ain't Found Sith. I am your host, still working from home, not knowing when I'm going back to work, even though we have hope as Miami has begun to slowly reopen. My name is Evan. Joining me is my co host, producer Fungus.
Yoga fire, bro. Give me some daps.
Oh,
I
all
knew
the
you would
way.
fuck it up.
This damn reversal. That's how it is, bro.
I set you up to
Should have just
fail.
done that.
Yes.
Boom.
Oh,
uh, but we are in like week 5,346 of lockdown.
it's
Uh,
over 9,000.
Gus, I know you're not feeling it because you've been going to work 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Although I'm sure at lunchtime there's limited options.
Nah, not really. Uber Eats,
Oh,
Postmates.
there you go.
What's the other one? DoorDash.
There you go.
Yeah.
But we have hope on the horizon. As of Monday, Miami began to slowly reopen.
Mm-hmm.
And as of last week, Universal Orlando City Walk is open. And
Yeah.
as of today or yesterday, Disney Springs is open. As
Yeah.
I guess these two giant behemoths begin to
I think it
work
was
on their
Tuesday.
strategy.
I think they opened Tuesday.
Disney
Somewhere
Springs?
around there. Yeah, I think so.
Okay. But yeah, they're starting to just, open it up, test the waters, see how it is. It's mostly just restaurants and a few of the shops that are open.
Yeah.
But I know for a lot of those restaurants, man, they need the business. So I know they're still happening.
Yeah. So do we, man. We need the business.
Yeah.
So don't forget to follow us.
Mario, interesting that you should mention that you're waiting for Islands of Adventure to open because Universal has announced that they are planning on reopening the parks by June 5th. Um, too soon, not too soon. I don't know. Time will tell. We don't, and I assume they'll be opening at a reduced capacity. So we'll see. I know that I won't
Indeed.
be the first one in line because I'm gonna wait and see. Let's see what happens for like a month.
Yeah, at least.
I'm not gonna be one of those guys like let me wait for a vaccine, but
But
let's.
when you do get back to the parks, which is the first one that you're gonna go to?
Ooh, well, let's see. It's not gonna be Universal because I'm not an annual pass holder.
You're a Disney guy.
I'm a Disney annual pass holder, so if
Mhm.
I'm gonna go, I'm not gonna spend any additional money.
I don't have any anal passes.
Yeah. So which Disney park would I want to go to? Well, I gotta say Galaxy's Edge. Just because I still haven't gone on Rise of the Resistance ride, and I've been meaning to get back and do that. Uh, Part of me just wants to like forget all this shit and go drinking around the world in Epcot.
Yeah.
But I feel like drinking around the world in Epcot will never be the same again.
Yeah.
Although 60% kills the virus on the outside, maybe 60% alcohol will kill virus on the inside. So
Ooh,
yes, Gloria, I do agree. Let's go.
I like your theory though.
Yeah. Sir,
We
you're
need, we
blowing
need,
a
we need to
blood
try this.
alcohol of 0.60. How are you alive?
You're like, this is why I'm alive. Oh.
Yeah. Mario, no, I will not stay away from drinking in China because China has Tipsy Ducks in Love, and I love that drink.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
I
I
don't
think
have to go into the China Pavilion. It's available in the little kiosk right on the outside.
yeah.
But man, I love that. It's Gus. I don't know if you've had this. It's a concoction of tea, coffee, chocolate, and bourbon,
I like all of those things.
and it tastes like a
Mhm.
bourbon yoo-hoo.
Yo, I love YooHoo, man.
Yeah, it is. It is awesome.
I'm a YooHoo type of
Um,
motherfucker. But I
but
think I'm on the fence. I don't know where I'm going first. It's either Islands or I haven't been to Galaxy's Edge yet, so maybe that's where I hit up first.
so what we got to do? We gotta hit up Islands and because Islands has its fun stuff too.
Yeah.
Um,
Does
I'm
Galaxy's Edge? They don't have alcoholic beverages in the Disney parks, right? Except for
Mhm.
Epcot. Except for
Yes,
Epcot.
No, they have alcohol in all of them except
Oh yeah,
Magic Kingdom, and alcohol will be coming soon to the Magic Kingdom.
nice. What do they
Yeah.
have at Galaxy's Edge
So, are we talking about specialty drinks or just in general?
in general?
Because Hollywood Studios has like bar carts all over, and
Ah,
they
okay.
have alcohol at various locations. But if you go specifically into Galaxy's Edge, you've got when you go to the milk stand,
Mm-hmm.
the blue milk and the green milk. The green milk, I believe, comes available with tequila, and the blue milk, I think, comes with vodka.
Ah, okay.
And then there's the cantina, Olga's Cantina. Thank you, Mario. I was not forgetting about it. I just hadn't gotten to it yet. But they have the Olga's Cantina, which is like their version of the cantina on Tatooine,
Yeah.
where they have an entire menu of alcoholic drinks.
Ah, okay. I gotta check that out.
Yeah, that you need a reservation for, or at least you did. I don't know how it's gonna be on reopening. I assume you still will. And those were pretty hard to get. Those were like
Hmm.
you had to like those. Really, the only way people were getting those reservations was because when you book a hotel in Disney, you can make your fast pass reservations and your dining reservations like 3 months out.
Ah, okay, okay.
But otherwise, like if you're trying to get a day of, it's real hard.
All right. Well,
But
since we're talking about Galaxy's Edge, why don't we just get into Star Wars, man?
Yeah, I was just gonna say quickly that for those of you joining us tonight, we haven't talked current events in like a
Yeah.
month. We've kind of concentrated. We did our tournament, which we concentrated on for about 3 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
and we've been kind of doing a couple topics here and there. We figured, you know what, that it's been a month. There's enough news that's come out that we can kind of talk on some stuff.
Yeah.
So that's kind of be what we're gonna do tonight. And I mean, right off the bat, we're gonna go right from Galaxy's Edge into the Star Wars news. And talk about some the one that's really been coming out. We get on Mandalorian season 2 news, and right off the bat, other than Gus, you have a family account on Disney Plus, right? You've got your
Oh,
sister.
she has it, but I don't have her her login.
Well, if you haven't been watching it, I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Once
Uh,
you finish the Mandalorian,
I'm only
they
5
are
episodes
now
in.
they are now currently releasing. They've got it every Friday. It's called Disney Gallery, The Mandalorian, and it's like a roundtable talk with John Favreau and Dave Filoni, and they switch out between a lot of like the producers, writing staff, and then the directors. And season one, bro, I was not aware season one had so many. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Bryce Dallas Howard did her directorial debut in
No
season
shit.
one. Yeah.
That's cool.
You've
I like it.
got Dave Filoni directed the first episode, making his directorial debut in live action. Uh, you've got Taika Waititi directed, John Favreau directed, um, just and really good high level directors that they got.
Yeah.
And while they've added two more names, I assume that a couple of these guys will be returning to season two. But they've also added Robert Rodriguez of the Sin City franchise, as
Nice.
well as Spy Kids
Yeah.
from yeah
That's
Spy
really
Kids
funny. I always
from
thought
Dust
that was
Till,
hilarious.
yeah from Dust Till Dawn. The mariachi series
Mhm.
with Antonio Banderas. Um, a high level, high name director will be
Yeah,
lending
man.
his talents to directing in season two.
That's dope, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
that guy makes some good movies.
he does,
Yeah.
as well as Peyton Reed, who's directed a bunch of stuff, but for the listeners of our show, probably know him most as the director of Ant-Man.
Okay.
So he will also be bringing his visual stylings to the Mandalorian. And this show, man,
Nice.
this show, I'm telling you, the way they film this show, like they could be filming right now. They've got the set that they filmed this, like a lot of these scenes on, is this like closed in set with this like 270-degree screen that they throw up like backgrounds and stuff on. And that's
No
how they
shit.
filmed like all the spaceship scenes in the cockpit. That's how they film all the like the scenes where they're like riding the fish guys or whatever.
I did
Like,
not know that.
yeah. I mean, this thing looks amazing. Seeing it in person,
Yeah.
like when you see it on, well, not in person, but seeing it on in person must look amazing. When you see it on video and like they've got this little cockpit set up, and then all of a sudden, all the screens around go to like this space background, and like they can film things and react to it, like as it happens. It's like they're the whole thing's done on a set, and it's nice.
I bet all the actors from the original from the prequel series, episodes 1, 2, and 3, wish they had
Wish
that.
they had that instead of the green box they were filming.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's amazing.
That's cool, man.
Continuing with Mandalorian news, we will be getting Boba Fett.
Nice.
Yeah, Boba Fett will be played by, and I don't know if I'm saying this right or not, Tamora Morrison.
Okay.
Tamora Morrison is the actor who played Jango Fett in the prequel trilogies.
All right. I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. They went out. They're making it happen. They're bringing him in. I mean, I don't know. I'm assuming he's big in New Zealand, where he's from. I know he was recently in Aquaman. He played Aquaman's dad.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So we look forward to seeing him. But as if that was not enough, they're bringing in Katie Sackhoff from Battlestar Galactica fame.
Okay.
Now, Katie in the Clone Wars cartoon did the voice of a character by the name of Bo-Katan, who was a Mandalorian warrior who kind of helped to overthrow Darth Maul and all of that when he took over Mandalore. She's playing Bo-Katan in live action.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's really great because we'll see. Not only will because basically the actress that did the voice in the cartoon and a character that was born out of the cartoon come into live action, played by the same actress that voiced her.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that is not the case for Ashley Eckstein, who did the voice of Ahsoka Tano, as it is rumored that Ahsoka Tano's live action debut in season 2 of The Mandalorian will be played by Rosario Dawson, who is an amazing actress.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know that she's said vocally in the past she would love to play this character in live action. Looks like she's going to get her wish on that.
That's cool, man. I love Rosario Dawson.
Yeah,
she's great.
And then, as if not enough, the star of Justified, the star of Deadwood, Timothy Oliphant, will be joining the cast as well. It is still an unnamed role, but rumor has it that he will be playing a character from the 2015 novel Aftermath, who goes by the name of Cobb Vanth, who is a sheriff in a town of Tatooine, who is wearing Boba Fett's like old armor that he bought off some Jawas, like in Tatooine. So
that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Hasn't Oliphant played a sheriff in something else?
Justified.
Oh, Deadwood. Never seen it. Never seen either of those.
Yeah. He's done a bunch of.
Is he typecast as
I don't know.
Sheriff, bro? He's like Carl Winslow.
Yeah, maybe. He is. He's done a bunch of roles all over the place. He was the bad guy in
Live Free or Die Hard.
Die Hard, the fourth one.
Yeah. That's where I know him best from.
Yeah. And then he's done a ton of stuff. I mean,
he's done a shitload of things. But whenever I think of him, I go straight to Live Free or Die Hard.
No. And that kind of wraps it up as what we know so far on Mandalorian 2, or at least what they've released. But that does not stop the juggernaut that is Star Wars news, as reportedly, we've got a bunch of stuff that's coming to Disney Plus. We've got the Cassian Andor series, which has been announced pretty much since the beginning. That is still going forward.
So who is Cassian Andor?
So you remember Rogue One?
Yeah.
Diego Luna's character.
Okay.
So it's a prequel series. It takes place before Rogue One.
Mm-hmm.
So we can expect it to be placed sometime between episode 3 and episode 4.
And he's reviving that role?
He is reprising his role.
Perfect. That guy's awesome.
And it's still in production. There's a lot of rumors saying that it was canceled. It has not been canceled. And
that makes me happy because I just finished Narcos Mexico.
Yeah.
and his character just he gets to the point of the story where he gets put in jail for the rest of his life. So you're not gonna see much of him anymore on that show, pretty much. So
I mean, he
I'm
can
glad.
always, pull an El Chapo and escape.
No, but it's based on real events. So
Did I have sounded more like a gringo when I said that?
El Chapo.
El Chapo.
Come on, bro.
El
We're
Chapo.
supposed to be nerds with tens. El Chapo, hijo de la gran
Yeah.
puta.
Yeah. It's what happens when I'm speaking in English, man. All the
It
Spanish words
happens.
get anglicized.
You're code switching, bro.
Yeah. Um. But yeah, and also the Obi-Wan series is still in production. They have not
Cool.
canceled the Obi-Wan series. The
Mhm.
Obi-Wan series is still coming.
And it's still with
We're
Jesus, right?
what?
It's still with
Jesus?
Jesus, yeah.
Still with Jesus, yeah.
All right, cool.
And still with Ewan McGregor, who is going to be reprising his role. We're also getting a a series from Leslie Headland. Leslie Headland is, from my understanding, was a long time kind of like a producer slash bigwig at the Weinstein Company and Miramax before that, and most recently got some notoriety. She created that series Russian Doll on Netflix.
Okay, so you're not talking about the actress. You're talking about the person who created the show.
The person who created the show. Yeah.
Okay.
We don't know too many details. We know it is a pet project of Kathleen Kennedy as well.
All right.
And all we know about it is that the show will have a female lead
Mhm.
and will be focusing on like the women of the Star Wars universe,
All right. Cool,
which
cool.
it's something that has been kind of lacking in the Star Wars universe until recently, because for
Yeah.
like 30 years the only women in the Star Wars universe were
Was
Leia and
Princess
her
Leia.
mother.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Yeah. The galaxy
Um,
sucked a long time ago.
yeah. Uh, we've also gotten some news that there will be a Star Wars movie by Taika Waititi, who, as we just said, has did a few episodes of The Mandalorian. Uh, Obviously, the writer director of Thor Ragnarok, and the writer director of What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh man, I haven't seen that show. Have you seen it?
I've not seen the show. I love the movie.
Okay,
And I think
the show
because
looks
I love the
hilarious.
movie is maybe why I haven't really watched the show.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, well, I've never seen like a good TV show based off of a movie, but
I
you
mean,
know,
it looks funny.
the movie's hilarious.
Yeah, I haven't seen
Yeah.
it.
The and then I think last time I said the squid and the whale, and that was wrong. It's not the squid and the whale. It was I'm gonna butcher. It's something Broncos. Hold on.
What the octopus and the orca? What?
No, it's something Broncos. It stars Jermaine from Flight of the Concords.
Okay.
Um, and I can't remember the name right now. So rather than make a,
What is this? What is this supposed to be?
so he's making a movie. He's making a Star Wars movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I can expect if Thor Ragnarok was any indication,
Hmm.
expect a lot of funny moments. Expect some just some good goofiness, as well as maybe some good action. Because from what I
Yeah.
saw of his episodes that he directed of The Mandalorian, he's got an eye for that too. So
Which which Thor is Ragnarok? Is that the one with his sister?
yeah,
Okay, that one was good.
yeah, it's hella good.
Yeah, that's hella good.
Um,
Good one,
and
Shaggy.
that's I mean, oh, and then apparently Kevin Feige, the
Hmm.
man in charge of Marvel, he's gonna get a Star Wars movie too.
Damn.
Yeah. So we'll see.
There you
No
go.
word yet on what is happening with the Ryan Johnson movies. Uh, the the movies that were going to be made by the guys that did Game of Thrones, that's not happening anymore. Supposedly
Oh, so they
schedule
fucked up Game of Thrones for nothing.
supposedly scheduling conflicts with other projects that they have that they're working on. And
Fuck those guys, bro.
yeah, so we'll see. Um, let's stick to streaming news. And well, interview came out with oh, what's his name? Hopper. Um,
Oh, the actor? Man, I don't remember.
but Stranger Things season 4, he's very excited for it.
What is that?
And he's confirmed that yes, that Hopper's alive.
What?
But he says there's a lot more to it than that, and there's some story, there's some mystery to be solved. But unfortunately, Stranger Things 4 has had to like halt production right now.
Yeah. Oh,
And
David Harbour.
David Harbour, there we go. I'm
Hopper,
software was
Harbour.
backing up. I can remember that.
It's all good.
Yeah. But they have confirmed, and we'll see how this affects because, bro, I follow those kids on Instagram. Those kids are growing, bro. Caleb McLaughlin, who plays
Eleven's boyfriend.
no, that kid's already like 7 foot tall.
Oh, wait, you're talking about the kid that gets stuck in the upside down.
No, that's Will.
Oh, yeah.
Whose real name I can't remember.
Are you talking about Dustin?
No, not Dustin.
And the fourth one.
Yeah,
I forget his name.
the Ringo.
The Ringo.
No, but
No way. I think he had some of the best lines, man.
he did. He does have some of the best lines.
I don't think he's the Ringo. Ringo sucks.
But but he's the fourth one, and I can't remember his character's name. But Caleb McLaughlin, I follow him on Twitter, and that kid's like in like the last year has like grown facial hair.
It happens, man.
You know, by the time we get back to filming, his little sister's gonna be the prom queen.
Yeah.
like these kids are growing. I don't know how long they can hold production. Lucas, thank you, Gloria.
There you go.
These kids, I don't know how long they can hold off on filming because you know, especially if they're filming out of order. Like you're gonna be like, why is Dustin 5'3" in episode 3 and he's like 6 feet tall in episode 1?
Yeah.
You know, it's like what the hell? It's just when you're working with kids, these are some of the things that are hard to get through.
Yeah.
But that's delayed, so now obviously we're not going to get that probably this year. That's probably going to be 2021 when that comes out. But the good news on the Netflix front is we will be getting Umbrella Academy season 2 at the end of May.
All right.
So that's good news to look forward to. Sorry, not the end of May, the end of July. So I was off by 2 months.
It's okay.
So
that's dope, man. What do you think? So how does the season 1 end?
Season 1 ends.
You haven't seen it.
The violin girl almost destroys the world.
Yes.
And then they wind up traveling back in time.
Ellen Page, right?
Yeah.
And then
they wind up traveling back in time.
Yes. And they learn how, and supposedly they're gonna learn how to use their powers for real.
Well,
right?
We'll see.
And Homeboy's on the moon or some shit like that. Is that what happens?
Yeah, I have no idea. We'll find out.
What do you think is gonna happen?
I mean, I'm sure there'll be an entire thing with them confronting their adoptive father, because we know they've gone back in time, but do they have their memories? Like, do they know everything that's going to happen to them coming up? Will they prevent the death of what was his name? Number 4 or whatever?
The one that can talk to ghosts? Or no?
The one that is a ghost.
Oh, okay. I thought he was number 1.
Number 1's the big Jack dude.
Oh, okay.
But we'll see, man. It'll be interesting to watch.
Yeah,
we have that to look forward to.
I really enjoyed it, man. I thought it exceeded expectations.
Yeah. I mean, considering I didn't have any, it was
That's
a very pleasant surprise.
That is very true.
Yeah. But we got that. Then we've got for those of you that watch CW shows, a little bit of a bummer, as CW has announced that they will be pushing the start of its new seasons to January of 2021. Obviously, we are in May, and now is the time where the writers would be breaking stories and coming up with the storylines for the next season. Obviously, they would start filming probably in June, as they usually get enough to have a reel by the time Comic Con comes along. I know most of those CW shows would release trailers around Comic Con. But obviously, you for that you have to get the writers together, and then to film you got to get all the actors and the crews, and we don't know when that's going to happen. So
Yeah,
basically, CW said we're going to push it back to next year, and we'll see how we are from there.
yeah. Well,
But
luckily for me, that
staying on,
affects me zero because I do not watch any CW shows. I can't stand them.
I watch the shows that are the DC shows,
Yeah, aren't
and
they? Aren't all of them? Not all of them. Not every CW show is a DC show, but aren't all their like comic book shows DC shows?
some are on the DC app, and
Mhm.
yeah, that's pretty much it. They're either on the CW or they're on the DC All Access or whatever they
Mhm.
call it.
Yeah, I got
Um,
tricked into watching. Fuck, which is the time traveling one?
Legends of Tomorrow.
Legends of Tomorrow. Yeah, I didn't know that was a CW show. I started watching and I was like, yeah, it's kind of corny, but whatever. And then when I found out it was a CW show, I was like, of course it is corny as fuck.
I mean, look, it's a CW show, right? So there's a
Yeah,
formula.
of course.
Uh, but
More power
I
to
will
them. They have a
say,
they have a huge audience.
yeah,
I'm just not
but
in
I
it.
I will say that of the shows, Legends is my favorite because it constantly is not
Mhm.
taking itself seriously, and it's
Yeah,
constantly doing all kinds of like wacky, crazy shit.
they do wacky shit.
Yeah,
I'll give them that.
you could definitely tell that the writing staff on that show is medically enhanced.
Yeah, yeah,
So so that's always it's just like the other shows are just like they get so into like the CW stuff
yeah.
and the relationship. Well, they're in a happy relationship, but we need to make them unhappy. Like, why can't we just have people who are in a happy relationship? They do exist in the world.
Exactly. There's plenty of other drama you can build. You don't
Yeah,
have to keep going to this. You know
we
what I do like about that show is that the Prison Break brothers are still brothers.
yeah. Well, they're not brothers. They're just
They're not. I thought they
they're
were brothers.
partners.
Oh, I thought they were brothers. Well, whatever. They're still a team. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
they're a team. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was
Which I
cool.
think is part of the reason why they were cast that way. Like
Yeah.
if you watch those, like if you start watching those CW shows, especially in the beginning,
Uh huh.
you could definitely tell that the people behind that show are fans of Prison Break, they're fans of Spartacus, and they're fans of Glee.
Glee. Why Glee?
Because between the star of the Flash, the star of Supergirl, and a bunch of like guest appearances,
Uh huh.
like half the cast of Glee has been on that show.
Really? I didn't
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
The kid from the Flash and the girl from Supergirl were on Glee.
we're on Glee.
Ah.
And then they brought in some guest episodes, some guest special guests
Yeah.
from Glee. They brought in, but there's people from Prison Break all over that show. There's people like Spartacus, uh, Arrow season 1 and 2, between like Manu Bennett and Katrina Law, and the guy that played the. Did you ever watch Spartacus?
Like the show or the
The show,
movie?
yeah, the show on Stars.
No.
Spartacus Blood and Sand.
No, I never saw it.
Well, a bunch of people from that show were on
Yeah.
Arrow and all that too. So you can tell it's like, oh, these guys, these are the shows they watch because these are all the actors they're casting. But unfortunately, and sticking with CW show news, Batwoman has quit. Ruby
Wait,
Rose,
before we get into that, I just want to point out the Legends of Tomorrow reminds me of Back to the Future in this aspect that as soon as they get to the end of the season and they've solved whatever problem they had, they get some sort of, it's like fucking Doc coming from the future and it's like, Marty,
yeah,
it's like exactly the same.
yeah.
It always happens.
You fixed all of these problems,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
in fixing all these problems, you created this other problem.
exactly. They copied that
It's your
formula
kid's
like,
body.
yeah, They copied that formula down to a T, man. It's so funny.
It's the kids' money. What did they grow up to be assholes or something? But yeah, it's that is their mo.
Yeah.
They do an entire season where it's like we're going back through time, trying to fix all these problems in time,
Hmm.
and then in fixing all those problems, we created a new major threat. So
Yeah.
that's what next season is for. But it's better than like The Flash, which started off as a fun, happy show and has turned into a relationship drama.
See, that's what
Where
I don't. They don't have that in Legends of Tomorrow.
no, they don't.
There's
There,
none of
there are
that relationship
characters who
stuff.
have relationships, and there's little things that,
Yeah.
but it's not the focus of the show. Like it's just kind
Exactly.
of background.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, but continuing on this CW stuff,
Hmm.
um, the news
Batgirl.
came out this week. Ruby Rose, she didn't say why she was leaving the show, but apparently between people seeing some interviews she's done and people who have been like kind of close to sources close to Ruby Rose,
Hmm.
apparently the work schedule was too much for her. And again, this is all rumored. None of this has been. But this is what it's looking like. I do recall seeing an interview with her where she was talking about how she was finishing up filming the crossover episodes, and how she was super tired. They were filming not only the episode for Batwoman, but also filming like episodes for each of the other shows as well. So it's like 5 episodes, like 5 shows in total that were all coming out at the same time. It was a really hectic schedule, and I think she just decided, you know what, I'm gonna go back to my life of being in supporting roles because it was much more comfortable for me.
That
And
kind of sucks though, because she's kind of badass.
yeah,
You know.
the only the only thing that I can see is like, okay, I get it. I'm not gonna begrudge.
Yeah.
You want to have a life on top of your job. I will never begrudge that to anyone. But this, I mean, if I'm a producer, if I'm a network executive, the next time someone says to me, "Oh, we're considering Ruby Rose for this part," my brain's immediately going to be like, "Oh, but the last time she had a role of this magnitude, she quit."
Yeah. Yeah. It's totally gonna fuck
Yeah,
up. Not one. Maybe it's not gonna fuck up her career, but she's gonna lose some opportunities because of this
she's going to
situation.
lose some opportunities. Now, obviously, movies are a different animal. Movies, you film for 2 months, and then you do some post work, and then you do the press junket for the movies, and that's
Yeah.
pretty much all that's involved. This, I mean, she'd been filming pretty much from last summer all the way up until recently, up until
Mhm.
up until the everything got shut down, to the point where like all these CW shows, like they had to basically cut all their stories short, like a couple of episodes, because they weren't going to be able to do the full like 23 episode seasons that they do.
Yeah.
So and again, I don't blame her. I will never begrudge someone, especially someone young.
Hmm.
You're 70 years old and you got nothing else going on. You know, it's like like me. I'm working from home, but I'm thankful to be working from home because it gives me something to do every day. Because
Oh yeah.
otherwise, I'd just be going crazy.
Yep.
But when you're young and you've got a life and you're a marketable talent like she is, I get it, man. You go out, live your life, do your small roles for a few weeks, and then go keep on living your life.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. But I think that's gonna wrap us up on. One last item on TV news. Uh, Gus, do you have CBS All Access?
No, I don't.
You know anyone that has CBS All Access other than Raul?
Ah, damn it. No, I do not.
So we've got a circle of friends of what, like there's like 30 of us in our little circle,
That's not a
and
little circle. I don't think there's
well,
30.
yeah, but
Oh,
we're
there's a good amount of us.
there's a good amount of us,
Yeah,
and only one person has this CBS All Access show.
and it's only for Star Trek.
Yeah, that's why he has it. It's only for Star Trek.
Yeah.
But they're developing a mini series around Stephen King's The Stand. Longly considered to be one of Stephen King's greatest works of fiction. one of his seminal works, has been adapted before as a TV miniseries.
All right.
But CBS this time decided, yeah, they're going to adapt it, but they're going to adapt it for their streaming service.
All right. So I told you before the show started that I have no idea what the stand is. So why don't you explain that story to me?
Well, it's quite weird that you would ask this because the stand takes place around a plague that wipes out the majority of the population of Earth,
Damn.
and then the survivors begin to kind of rally around two figureheads.
Okay.
One who is, I think her name is Mother Abigail or something like that, who is this 100-and-something-year-old woman who is, she's gathering the forces of good, basically. And the other one is name of Randall Flagg or Rick Flagg,
All
uh, who
right.
who is basically the devil,
Okay.
and he represents the forces of evil. And we're heading into this like huge showdown between good and evil. I mean, it is it is something that it's since the like late '80s
Yeah.
has been considered one of the greatest like novels of all time.
No shit.
Yeah. I mean, and this thing is huge. This is a
I've never heard of it.
823-page book, but it is
Wow.
just
So when was the last time that they made this into a film or a TV show or whatever?
1994.
And it was The Stand or it was something else?
It was The Stand. Stephen
Oh,
King's The Stand. 1994 was done as a made-for-TV movie.
okay.
Yeah, and yeah, Randall Flagg. That's the character's name. I think Rick Flag is I think a DC character.
Huh.
But it is. I gotta wonder like why take something that's so well known why put it on your streaming service? Like why not monetize the shit out of that? Put it on your network. Run that thing on like a ESPN just did 5 weeks of programming based around
Yep.
the Last Dance,
Yeah.
where they I'm sure that and they did it with limited commercial interruption,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm sure that there's like how much did you think that was it State Farm
Yeah.
that they kept doing those special commercials? Like how much do
Yeah.
you think State Farm put into?
Oof. A pretty penny, man. Because every commercial break had a State Farm commercial in it.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where it's like you're gonna make this for your streaming audience who's paying like $5 to $10 a month, or
Yeah.
maybe someone like me who's gonna be like, all right, once this thing comes out, I'm gonna sign up for the free trial, and then as soon as I'm done watching it, I'm gonna cancel my free trial.
Mm-hmm. That's what Raul tells me to do for Star Trek.
Yeah, he tells me the same thing. I just haven't done it,
I haven't done it either.
but maybe the stand will be the thing that gets me to do it. And then there's people like some people that we know who will go unnamed, who will go through nefarious means, and who watch it without giving any of their money to CBS. So why
Yeah,
not take something? 'Cause, I mean, it's not like you've got something that has no name.
exactly.
This is. I mean, obviously you've never
Well,
heard of it.
even Star Trek is a big name. Like they could have put that on TV. I mean, I guess they're just trying to push that whole digital thing, man.
Well, I
They
mean,
want to promote that.
yeah, I just I don't know, man. I don't see. NBC's got one coming out now. If it's not out already, Peacock.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, HBO is releasing a streaming service, which is like, but you guys are already a pay channel that we have to pay to get. Like,
Yeah, I don't get the HBO one because there's HBO Go, there's HBO Now, and now there's gonna be HBO Max. Like, what's the difference?
well, I guess HBO Max will have everything that. Okay, so HBO Go and HBO Now.
Yeah,
HBO Now is people who subscribe to HBO through their cable company, and HBO Go is people who don't have it on their cable package but subscribe to it directly.
I think it's the other way around.
Okay.
Yeah,
But then HBO Max is apparently going to be all of that plus content that they don't own.
that they don't own.
Yeah, because
Oh,
it's like so for example, well, or not that they
the
didn't
shit that
create.
they license.
Yeah, like they spent the money to get the license for Friends.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Okay. That makes sense.
But it's
But I
like,
don't think they needed to create an HBO Max for that. They could have just added all that shit to HBO now.
I don't know. We'll see, and we'll see because they haven't announced. I think like what their pricing is going to be or what their tiers
Mhm.
are going to be. It would be nice if you're a subscriber if they just were like, yeah, we're gonna
Just hop over.
automatically give you access to it,
Exactly.
but we'll see.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, man, I'm like, what's your opinion on all these networks coming out with streaming services?
I mean, it's just gonna be like watching everything that you want to watch is gonna. It's right now. It doesn't cost all that much, but eventually it's gonna be like how it was when
It's gonna cost like a cable package.
exactly. It's gonna be the same shit.
Yeah. Gloria's giving us an update. She says it's included on HBO now.
All right.
So I guess HBO Max, if you're an HBO Now subscriber, will be included. So that's cool.
There you go. I'm gonna have to resubscribe to that shit. I've been meaning to actually resubscribe to HBO because there's a bunch of shows that recently came out that I watched that I haven't been able to watch because I don't have it right now.
Okay. I have it because I'm subscribed to it at home.
There
So
you go.
I guess I have HBO Go.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never use the HBO Go like unless it's like for something specific. For the most part, a lot of the stuff that's on HBO Go is also available on demand if you're a subscriber. So why would I watch it on my tablet when I can watch it on my TV?
Exactly.
But I mean, there's every once in a while like you want to watch some old HBO thing that like you're like, okay, that's not available. But it's one of the things. So let's gonna wrap us up for TV news. Uh, moving on to movies. So Sony is just going crazy and like because they have access to the Spider-Man and his universal characters,
Uh huh.
they're just if you're a character and you are somehow tied into the Spider-Man franchise, you're gonna get a movie.
Nice.
Obviously, Venom got a movie, and we know that it's getting a sequel. Uh, Morbius has a movie coming out, and now that they've announced they're working on a movie for Madam Web, an ancillary character who basically just kind of existed to tell Peter Parker that he had a destiny, and they're gonna give her her own movie. I know her mainly from like a few things here and there, as well as the cartoon series. And even then, all she would do was just like pop up and be like, "Peter, your destiny is calling for you." And that was the extent of her character. So I don't know how she's gonna fit into making her own movie. That's gonna be weird. But
Maybe it's
until
gonna
we get a
be
trailer,
all the times that she went to go tell Peter.
it's gonna the movie's gonna be a
Yeah,
montage.
yeah, exactly.
But I don't know, man. We'll see. Um, Also, you know what? We were just talking
Uh-huh.
about HBO Max.
Yeah,
Uh, they will be releasing Justice League, the Snyder Cut.
nice.
So, nerd fanboys everywhere, rejoice! You're getting your dream, your wish come true. They will be releasing the Snyder Cut.
Why?
They have yet to announce how they will be releasing it.
What's the
So, Zack
what's
Snyder,
gonna
who
be
was
in it?
the original director,
Yeah,
he was apparently working on the movie before he had to bow out due to family issues. And he apparently had like a 4 hour long cut of the movie with a hell of a lot more backstory, a hell of a lot more scenes for the other characters.
cool.
They don't know if they're going to release it as like one 4 hour long movie or if they're going to release it like as a two-part miniseries.
Yeah,
Which, I mean, my understanding is anytime a movie's been over 3 hours or significantly over 3 hours, not uncommon to put an intermission in the middle. All the Lord of the Rings movies have an intermission. I know back in the old days, it was done all the time. Um, you don't really need it because there's a
yeah,
thing called the pause button.
that's true.
But it's nice to have like a break where that like you're not gonna miss anything because the movie makers have said like this is your designated time.
Yeah.
But we'll see. That's just I don't know, man. It's weird. Was it? I don't. We don't even know if his cut of the film was even finished. We don't know if he got to film everything that he wanted to film.
Well, maybe they let him like finish his cut after his family thing. You know what I mean?
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
All right.
Uh, quick little shout out. 2021 Oscars could be postponed, and
What?
majority of the audience doesn't care.
No.
What's your stance on the Oscars, Gus?
Oh man, I think it's I don't know, sort of pretentious, sort of racist.
Okay.
I feel like they, yeah,
So you and I have completely different opinions on the Oscars. I enjoy the Oscars.
yeah. I don't
I like
I don't not enjoy it. Like I do watch it, and
look,
I'm always interested to see who wins and all that shit like that. But
yeah.
yeah,
Well,
I do think that they have fucking like they dissed Denzel a million times, and then they fucking gave him the Oscar for Training Day when you know what I mean,
yeah.
where he's played a
Well,
bunch of these amazing characters, and
but
they
Training
would
Day
have
was
they
the
would have
second
dirty.
Oscar.
What was his first one? What
Laurie.
leading? Well, he didn't get that Oscar in a leading role.
Right, not until
Yeah,
Training Day,
exactly.
but again, like the thing that I respect about the Oscars is the people who vote for them are people who work in the industry.
Yeah, yeah.
Like actors vote for actors, writers vote for writers, directors vote for directors. And then once they have the actual nominees, then everyone who's a member of the academy gets to vote.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of those things where it's like none of the other award shows have that.
Oh, the
So
Grammys.
the Grammys have that? I thought the
Yeah.
Grammys were like a body of like executives that voted on the Grammys.
No, you got to be a member.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I know like the Golden Globes, it's a group of journalists that vote for that.
Mm-hmm.
The People's Choice Awards, it's the American public and whoever has access to the
Mm-hmm.
voting. So like it's nice to have a show where it's like the people who are responsible for who gets put on this are the people who make the movies.
Yeah.
And it might and I've always valued that opinion. I've always valued an Academy Award winning movie as a good quality movie. My personal taste sometimes doesn't coincide with the Academy, but for the most part, I can't remember like an Academy Award winning movie for Best Picture that was a bad movie.
Well, I mean, what's the name of the movie that won this year? The Korean flick. What was the name of it?
Parasite,
Parasite. I almost said Poseidon. Yeah, Parasite, man. It was
not a bad
okay.
movie.
It wasn't bad, but it wasn't. I wouldn't.
It wasn't my favorite movie of the year.
Nah, no, not even close.
I think you and I had the same one. I think you and I both said Ford versus Ferrari.
Ford versus Ferrari. I don't. I mean, I would have gone Joker, but Ford versus Ferrari was better than.
I like Ford versus Ferrari better than I like Joker
Yeah.
because Ford versus Ferrari, I didn't leave depressed. Joker was depressing, bro. Joker.
So what, dude? Not every movie has to be uplifting and happy, man. Sometimes
No, but
it just has to make you feel something.
But when it's uplifting and happy, I like it better than when it makes me feel depressed.
All right.
You know?
Yeah, personal
Like-
preference.
Yeah. It's I like a movie that will make me feel good at the end of it.
Yeah,
So, but that's my personal preference.
exactly.
I don't mind a mindfuck movie. I don't, a
Mm-hmm.
movie like Inception, where at the end of
Yeah.
the movie you're going, "What the fuck?" Like that, I don't mind. But when it's a movie like Joker, where at the end of a movie I'm like, "Fuck."
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to watch that ever again.
See,
That's
but that
it's a
that
good
just goes
movie.
to
It's a great
show-
character study.
Yeah, but that goes to show that they did a great job trying to portray that message. They were trying to get you to feel that way, and they
And they
succeeded.
succeeded, and it didn't lead to repeat business. Whereas Avengers Endgame left me going, "Yeah, aw," but I went back and I saw it again and again and again.
Of course, yeah.
So it's it's a fine edge that you that you're on
Yeah.
when you're trying to like let's make a character piece. It's a bit depressing. Like yeah, that's great. Other movies in that Dallas Buyers Club, great movie, great performance by Jared Leto, great performance by Matthew McConaughey. Saw it once, haven't seen it again because the movie's depressing because they all have AIDS and they're all
Yeah.
dying. you know,
Yeah. I haven't seen that one yet. I've been meaning to watch it.
yeah, it's a good watch.
Yeah.
And then once you've watched it, you don't really need to see it again. I'm gonna skip the next one, Gus. We'll save that one for last.
Okay.
But New Mutants has a release date for the fifth time.
All right.
This movie has been threatening to come out for the last 2 years and has now been pushed again. It will be scheduled to be coming out on August 28th.
And it's finished, right?
It's finished. It's been finished.
Okay.
Maisie Williams was 3 years younger when this movie wrapped.
That's incredible.
The one of the guys in the movie is the Will's older brother from Stranger Things. He didn't have facial hair yet when this movie was made. But I guess Marvel, whereas they've made other plans, so like Disney decided, like for example, they were one of their movies that were going to come out this summer, movie by the name of Artemis Fowl, based on a book series.
Mm-hmm.
They decided, you know what, we're going to release that on Disney Plus.
Okay.
Apparently, New Mutants, they have not lost the belief that it will perform.
Yeah.
They just pushed it till the end of the summer. I think that might be their canary in the coal mine.
Yeah.
That might be their.
They probably really believe in it. If they keep pushing it back like this, they probably really believe that it's going to be a box office hit. Otherwise, they would just release it on Disney Plus.
Well, here's the thing. So they asked when everything was done with the acquisition.
Mm-hmm.
They asked Kevin Feige, like, are you going to reshoot things? Do you want to make changes in order to make it part of the MCU? He said, no, we feel that it works as is, and we can find a way to incorporate it without making drastic changes.
Yeah.
So whether or not it'll be part of the MCU, I think will be dependent on box office. But I think part of the thing about pushing it to the end of summer is they know it's a movie that's anticipated. They know it's a movie that they think can do business. But if it doesn't do the business that they think it's going to do, then they can say, oh, well, but this was the summer of COVID. Mm-hmm. And so we didn't, movies weren't going to do major business anyway.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. So, whereas I think, and I don't know, anybody that's kind of followed Disney every year, outside of like Marvel, outside of Star Wars, Disney every year rolls the dice on a movie based on like a work of literature that ends up flopping. Last year it was the what is it, the series last year, the one with Oprah. Something Time, Stitch in Time or something like that.
I don't remember.
You're looking it up?
Yeah.
Okay, but last year was that one. A few years ago, it was John Carter on Mars.
Oh, yeah, that movie sucked.
That movie was awesome. I enjoyed the hell out of that movie.
Really?
Yeah. A Wrinkle in Time. Thank you, Gloria.
There you go.
I knew it was something in time. But movies that have like these huge literary followings that wind up underperforming in the box office based off the budget that they spent on it.
We should get Gloria to replace Lopes when
Lopes is not available.
When he's not available, yeah.
But
Gloria, you want in? I'll send you the link right now.
But like I feel like every year Disney has this like sacrificial lamb, and I feel like Artemis Fowl was going to be the sacrificial lamb this year. So them releasing it on Disney Plus, now they can be like, oh, well, they released it on Disney Plus and it got this many views without having to say how much money it brought in or anything like that.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, it's going to be one of those things. But I mean, I read the premise for it. I'll probably check it out when it comes out. It's apparently this kid is like a young Sherlock Holmes. So it seems interesting. Uh, then from there, with more Disney Plus, Hamilton will be
Yeah,
released on Disney Plus July 3rd. It's a taped performance of the Broadway show, kind of like what you see on like PBS and stuff like that.
yeah,
But released just in time for Independence Day. One of the founding fathers, the number one musical in God knows how long.
yeah,
This thing's gonna have a run like Cats. I don't know if when you were a kid, if you remember, like always seeing the commercials for Cats.
yeah.
Like I feel like Hamilton will be running forever.
It probably will, man. They're gonna play it. I mean, they're gonna show it in schools, fucking forever. Every history class is gonna show Hamilton.
Yeah,
I can see that happening. You're
definitely.
gonna watch it in history, and then you're gonna go to fucking music class. They're gonna watch it again. Kids
Yeah,
are gonna
because
kids are gonna hate Hamilton.
yeah,
Oh,
that'll be what happens.
again, Hamilton again.
It's gonna be the Ferris Bueller of the next generation.
Yeah.
Which I love Ferris Bueller. Don't get me wrong,
So do
but it
I.
seemed like every time we had a day where we weren't doing anything in class, it was let's pop Ferris Bueller on. All right, and that's gonna bring us to our final news element of the day. Uh, we're getting another Scarface movie. It is based off of a script written by Joel and Ethan Cohen, the Cohen brothers,
hmm
and it will be directed by Luca Guadagnino, who was
Yep.
recently in the news. He made a movie by the name of Call Me by Your Name, which got a lot of critical acclaim, and I know a lot of people were fangirling over it. Like it was like last year or the year before. But the thing that has jumped through the entire rumor mill is the rumor is that they are looking for Michael B. Jordan to play Tony Montana.
See, now I don't understand that. Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know the script. Is maybe he's not gonna be a Cuban guy from
I hope
Cuba.
he's not a Cuban guy.
You know? Yeah, because
Look, as I have a love hate relationship with Scarface.
uh-huh.
It's a great movie. I enjoy the hell out of it. It's a great story.
Yeah.
I'm a little tired of everybody always talking like this when they want to talk about having a Cuban accent
Yeah.
because, except for my little buddy Carlito who talks like this on purpose, I don't really know too many Cubans who have an accent like that.
No, it just sounds like Al Pacino had a stroke. That's all it
Yeah.
sounds like, man.
Um,
It's terrible.
which is weird because his co-star Stephen Bauer
Is
is
actually
Cuban,
Cuban. Yeah, yeah.
so they could have been like, "Hey, Stephen, how would like a Cuban exile guy say this?" And he could have told them,
Yep.
like, "Yeah, listen, you're going a little too over here. You're going a little too over there." But
Maybe they want it over the top. You know what I mean?
I don't know. We'll see. And look,
But
I can certainly buy. Look, Michael B. Jordan is a good enough actor that I could
Mhm.
buy him as a Cuban immigrant.
Maybe like, all right, if he's like a Miami-born Cuban
Okay,
guy,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Then
Uh,
cool.
but here's the thing. So a lot of people forget Scarface is a remake. The
Mhm.
83 80 is it 83 that or 84 that Scarface came out.
Somewhere around. It was like 83.
Yeah, that movie in itself is a remake of a 1932 movie named Scarface,
Hmm.
where Tony Montana is an Italian immigrant.
There you go.
Which, why on earth you make a movie about an Italian immigrant who turns to the mob and say, let's have him played by Al Pacino, who is already known for playing Italian mobster, and then say, but we're gonna make him Cuban.
Yeah.
Now, but here's the other thing: with a movie like Scarface, you've got an interesting opportunity to update it for the times that we're in, right?
Yes.
So originally, Scarface, Italian mobster, bootlegger, who's in the alcohol business during the time of Prohibition.
hmm
1980s, Cuban immigrant who gets into the cocaine game during the 80s cocaine boom.
Yeah.
So what's a large immigrant group that is coming in now, and what's a like vice of the day that could be the main vice that he gets into the business of. Because you don't
I don't
have to
know.
do cocaine again. I
No,
don't think the cocaine business is booming like it was in the 80s.
I'm sure it is. I don't know. It's just I think it's plateaued since then. I don't know. I don't know, man. What would it be now? Like Molly or some shit? I
Well,
don't.
I mean, obviously we've got. I think the biggest drug epidemic going on now is meth.
Oh, it's yeah. It's the what's it called? Fuck the prescribed
Well,
drugs.
yeah, there's the big opioid
There you go. The
crisis.
opioid. Yeah, the
But
opioid.
when you can't get the prescription, you get the street shit, and
Yeah,
essentially the street shit is meth and heroin. I mean,
yeah.
that's essentially the street opioids that are available. Um, but do you make Michael B. Jordan, Mexican cartel?
Nah, yeah, he can't play a Mexican.
What if you step away from the immigrant aspect of the story? What if instead of
uh,
making him an immigrant, and I know somebody's gonna say like Haitian,
yeah, you could do that.
uh,
Or
but um,
Dominican.
but I feel like change this. Like original Scarface is based out of New York.
The original one, the
Yeah, the original
1932.
1932 is like as New York.
Yeah.
Change the setting.
Mm-hmm.
Make it. I don't know. I feel like. I mean, it's
They
a
could like Scarface could just be like his call name or whatever, like what he calls himself.
yeah.
Maybe his name doesn't even have to be Tony, or it could be like
Well, both
I don't know how
both
they wrote it.
titular characters get their name because of
Yeah,
the scar
yeah,
on
yeah,
it.
that's true.
But
Well, I mean, it could be like it could be like that's the movie Scarface exists within that universe, and he calls himself
oh,
that. You know what I mean?
okay, that's an interesting one.
Yeah, like he
Um,
actually has a scar on his face in the movie, and he just calls himself Scarface because that's his favorite movie growing up. He
I
calls himself
was
Tony Montana, kind of thing. I don't know.
I was gonna say, well, but that's the problem, right? If the main character's name is Tony Montana,
No, no,
then
no. I'm saying it's not. Maybe it's not. That's not going to be his actual name. That's just he loves Scarface, and that's the persona he took on. Like he just calls himself. That's like his street name or whatever.
oh,
You know what I
you
mean?
you mentioned the devil's name, and look who's in the chat. It's
Oh
Pedro chatting
no!
it up instead of joining us. Uh,
There we go. Or they can
they can
just
just
not
not
make
make
another
another
remake.
remake. I don't think Scarface is an untouchable movie. I think
Yeah,
trying to remake it in exactly the way it was, that would be a stupid idea. But
that
if
was
you update it the way that they updated the '80s one, I think it could work. I think it'd be good.
yeah.
Uh, I'm just trying to think like what would be a good setting. What would be? I mean, you can definitely do it. Maybe instead of doing an immigrant story, he's just a young black guy from an inner city or something like that.
Yeah,
Maybe you base it in. Obviously I'm stereotyping because of The Wire, but maybe you base it out of Baltimore.
yeah, could
You
yeah,
know, and I say stereotyping because obviously Michael B. Jordan, one of his earliest roles was Wallace on season 1 of The Wire.
yeah.
So it's like
That
it's
would be pretty
weird,
dope. Yeah, that would be a great little
kind
like
of full circle kind of
callback.
thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, he's playing the kingpin this time instead of
Yep.
the you know. Uh, but that's another thing. Like, how do you make a drug drama in the inner city when you've got The Wire, which is just an amazing show.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What do you think? Do you make it modern day? Do you go period piece on it?
No, I think you go modern day.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like if the second they try to go like let's remake Scarface and let's make it a period movie and base it in the '80s, that's when you go okay, you're doing too much.
Yeah.
But if you
That-
make it as a modern day story, I think it'll work.
I think they're gonna go with the like my little fan theory of it that the movie Scarface that we all know exists within this new movie's universe, and that's just his favorite movie, and he's a drug dealer, and that's his street name that he made up for himself. You know?
Yeah, could work.
Yeah.
What'd be awesome is go like full on like against like the stereotype and be like, and make him like in Breaking Bad, where he's
Mhm.
this like educated guy who knows the business, who knows what needs to be done. And the Tony Montana Scarface thing is a created persona that
Yeah,
everything gets sold
makes sense.
under, but he's the guy behind the scenes who's like,
Yeah.
the kingpin of crime and shit.
You know, it'd be funny if if when he's making his first like official deal, somebody asks him, "Oh, what's your name?" Like, I don't know you, whatever, and he panics and he just goes, "Oh, Tony Montana."
Like
He just doesn't want to give out his real name.
like
You know
Heisenberg.
what I mean? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. I obviously I until we've seen something from it, everything
Yeah,
right now is fine. First of all, Michael B. Jordan hasn't even like acknowledged the fact that like they want him to play him. Like he's
yeah,
so it's and there's agents and there's studio execs and all of that. So
yeah.
okay, kick Pedro out of the chat. Scarface is not a trash movie, bro. Scarface is a good fucking movie. You don't like Scarface, but it's not a trash movie. Oh,
It's okay.
I wish he was here so we could argue this, but he's not. So I'm gonna hold on to this anger for the next time that I see Pedro. And
Next
until
week,
then,
I'm 58.
yeah. Until then, this has been another episode of We Ain't Found Sith. If you're watching us on YouTube and you like what you saw, hit that subscribe button down there. If you're watching us on Facebook, join the group. If you're not already in there,
Mhm.
we're constantly posting. We're constantly doing things in there. Talking about show topics in there. So go ahead and just join because that's where it's at. You can also check us out on all the social medias. We Ain't Found Sith on the Instagram. We Ain't Found Sith on Twitter. And catch us on your favorite podcatcher, whether that's iTunes, Spotify. Did you hear about Joe Rogan's Spotify deal?
Dude, $100 million for exclusivity on Spotify.
We need
That's
some of that
amazing.
money. Spotify, if you're listening.
I've been podcasting for 5 fucking years.
Yeah. But we don't have Joe Rogan numbers.
I don't even.
So
Yeah, no.
we'll see. But that's our I think that's our goal now, Gus.
Yeah, man, and
The
and he's
$100 million contract.
and he's still allowed. He's still allowed to sell ads. So it's $100 million plus whatever money he generates from ads.
Yeesh.
That's amazing.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
But anyways, this has been We Ain't Found Sith. My name's Evan.
Yep.
The
I'm
guy
producer
over to my
Gus.
side over here is Gus. And we'll catch you guys next week.
All right, have a good one, everybody.
Later, Sith heads.